Hey friends, this is Bible Fun with the Dunns on the road. We are spring breaking this week, so we're just making it happen when we can. Today, we read Colossians chapter 2, and so Preacher Hubs is going to give a little recap of that.
All right, and I can't look at you because I'm driving. All right, so Colossians chapter 2, you'll notice at the very beginning, it's talking about Paul's really encouraging these people to mature. Because the longer we walk in Jesus, the more we ought to be maturing in Jesus. If we stayed spiritual babies forever, it would be weird, it would be awkward, it would be unbiblical. But there's a lot of people that are still spiritual babies. And he wants us to mature to the point where we won't be carried away by anything fancy, anything new, anything flashy, like children could be lured into some dangerous places by flashing a little candy. You know, we tell our kids, don't do that. And so he doesn't want his children to be carried away. So mature, grow up. And then it's all ultimately leading to the fact that how you do this is in Jesus. Go back through this chapter and notice how many times you see this phrase, in Him, in Him, in Him. Why? Because we're not just saved in Jesus, we grow in Jesus. And by the way, we can't do anything worthy of doing if we're not in Jesus. He's the vine, we're the branches. In Him we bear fruit, but apart from Him we can do nothing. There's also a piece there about not slipping back into the old patterns. He's talking about don't get into all the festivals and the feasts and the rituals of the Jewish life. I mean, think about how hard that must have been for these people who've been saved to have this draw from friends and families to like start re-participating in all of these Jewish activities. Paul said, look, he said, you've seen the fulfillment of that. And this is the way I described it to Jenny, because we just left dinner. I said, imagine sitting down to dinner, opening a menu at a really good restaurant, and seeing the pictures of some good looking food. And then have the waiter bring out the food. So you got the picture of the food, and you got the real food. Paul says that all the Jewish law was a shadow of things to come, but that Jesus was the fulfillment. So when you sit down at the restaurant, do you want the picture or do you want the food? Because I'm going to tell you what.
Chips and queso.
I want the food, okay? So that's kind of what it is. Jim, what was your takeaway?
I love the in Him part. I love, and I'm so thankful to know that He's done all the work for me. God does the doing in salvation, in spiritual growth, in everything. He does the work. As someone, a recovering striver, feeling like I'm constantly needing to work for things, and I think that goes along with don't fall into the rituals and the culture, don't fall into the world. In our world, we are constantly, you work hard, you reap the benefits. That's the currency we have going on in the world, but not in the upside down kingdom. In God's world, Christ did the work for us, and I'm so thankful for that, because I've tried to work for it, and you can't work hard enough. You can't be perfect. And when you work for it, when you try to do that yourself, you come to the end of yourself, and it just shows you your need for Christ. So those two words all throughout this chapter are my favorite, in Him. I also really love Paul's, he just has a good pastor heart. I love that he wants to be with them. He wants the best for these people. And I just see that in all his letters to them.
I do too. And I like it.
All right, friends.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a great spring break.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.